Hi everyone, I'm doing my John Maxwell and I'm going to finish this section today, day one of the leadership thought that the law of explosive growth takes place. So the readings that John Maxwell gave were from Acts 15:36 to 16:5, 18:1 to 11, 19:8 to 10, and then 1 Timothy 4:12 to 16, and 2 Timothy 2:1 to 10, and 14 to 16. Basically, what he's doing there is just talking about the disagreements that came up in the early church and how people parted companies because of the disagreements that they had, and they went their own ways. But the building of the church continued, and so too with us. We can part company with other Christians, or we can have disagreement on things, but we still have to focus on our path, on our life, and what we are doing in our own lives to build up God's kingdom and to develop other leaders. And in focusing on that, we will be multiplying what we're doing, because all of us are going to die eventually, whether it's now or whether it's in 10 years' time, we don't know. But eventually, all of us are going to pass away from this life. And so we have to make the most of each moment that's given to us. The point that I covered yesterday was not just doing the right things, but doing the right things. So focusing on what is right, focusing on what is good. The second point is not just prioritizing your schedule, but scheduling your priorities. So for me, it's important to get out, to meet people, to connect with people, because I'm on my own. And so today I had a meeting with one of the ladies that I had met when I was volunteering. And that was nice because we could go out, enjoy the sunshine, take a walk. We spent some time together here in my home. And that builds us up when we can be with like-minded people, when we can share our challenges as well as what our opportunities are that we see for us in Canada. That helps us and that strengthens us. The other priority for me is exercising. So I get out and I walk every day. It's making sure that I'm keeping myself positively motivated, because everybody has challenges to deal with, and so do I. So making sure I'm reading these books like John Maxwell, I'm tapping into calls, tapping into what is happening, and I anticipate things will get better, but when they will get better, we don't know, especially in light of what is happening with our banking industry, with what is happening in our economies, what's happening politically. All of us have a part to play. So as long as we are speaking up, using our voices, trying to make things better, and trying to make things better for ourselves is important, because when our own lives are taken care of, then we can help others and we can equip others. The third point is not seeking fulfillment, but fulfilling your destiny. So it's the higher calling to fulfill our destinies. And when we do that, we can develop leaders from the overflow. For me, I know I've developed other leaders through my mentoring. I've developed other leaders who I've met through the One Campaign. I've developed other leaders in church where I used to do the children's liturgy and the Eucharistic ministry, the lectors. I've contributed to all of those things right here in Toronto. And then the fourth point I already covered, not leading with power, but empowering leaders. So all of us have personal power. All of us have the power to change things, to make a difference where we are. And we give that power away. When we are developing others, when we're helping others, we're giving our power away. It's not about our positions or our titles, but it's that power that is within us that we are sharing with other people. So the church did experience explosive growth, but it came about in a time and in a space unlike the world has seen. It came out of a time of hardship. It came out of a time of being under threatening rule, the Roman period. And Jesus did that too. The examples that I focused on today was the readings that John Maxwell gave, where he's looking at Paul and Silas and the very early church. But Jesus did that too. He empowered others, men and women. He had them on the journey with him. They accompanied him. They provided for him out of their own resources. If we have resources, then we can help others. If we don't have resources, people do what I am doing, trying to grow their own businesses, looking for speaking events, sharing what we're learning, and looking for those opportunities, joining networking groups, and upgrading our skills. Those are all things that we can continue to do. And I'm sharing it because other migrants who are coming into Canada can then take it and they can do it. And people are doing it. There's always events going on. There's always networking opportunities. There's always things that are happening that we can join in, where we can connect with people. So those are the things that the early church did, and they are the things that we are doing. Because people are leaving places like Zimbabwe, Africa, because they're looking for new opportunities. Other people are setting up businesses where they are, whether it's in Zimbabwe or whether it's here, because we're trying to develop ourselves and develop our skills and use our potential, so that when we get to the end of our life, whether it is a short one or a long one, we know that we've done everything we can to reach our potential in life. So Paul didn't just settle for addition. He didn't just settle for saying, okay, like if it was social media today, I've got 10,000 people following me. But are those 10,000 people actually taking actions? Are they using what they're listening to? Are their lives becoming successful? If they are, then it's good. Then the mentoring is working. But if 10,000 people are just following you, and it's not helping them in any way, and it's not helping your life in any way, then there's no point just adding people to your entourage or having a gravy train. That's why for me it's so important to work, to try different things, I used to do Primerica, I used to do insurance sales, I worked in retail, I worked in cleaning, I worked in a lot of different things. Wherever I could get that opportunity, I took it. When I was still a student and young, I used to do babysitting. I was a nanny. Now I don't want to be a nanny, and I don't want to be a cleaner, because I've invested in myself, I've invested in my skills, I've upgraded my skills, so I want to do better things. I want to do more administrative things. And I want to be able to tap into that potential. So these leadership principles, these spiritual principles, can be applied in our ordinary lives, our everyday lives. And we can use them to develop ourselves and to develop others. The question for this section today is, as a leader, are you adding or multiplying? So if we're just adding people to our organizations, and it's people who are coming in drunk, people who are drunk at work, they don't care, and the supervisors are not putting the calls to them because, oh, you know, it's a bad day, it's a bad week, next week they'll be better. If we're encouraging people to take their phones onto the floor, we watch them, everybody watches the clickiness, watches how they hide their phones, put them under their bums while the training is taking place, take them onto the floor, and yet the company is keeping them and letting people like me go, then obviously it's not a good fit for me. I need to look at finding something where everybody's going to be treated fairly and equally, including me. And we also need to look at with our banks. I mean, I think TD will close in America with the way things have gone. They're already limiting their growth in the country, and America's the hub. America's the financial hub. So, you know, they might pay this huge fine for the criminal charges, and they might pay the fine for what they knowingly allowed to happen, And it's no point saying, oh, well, you can't change the past, focus on the future. I'm tired of hearing that. Things have to change now, and things have to get better now, because I'm tired of it, because I'm always the one suffering because what other people are doing. And I'm tired of being hauled to the police station and summoned and treated badly, while other people who actually commit crimes and who actually do lie and take gift cards for drug money being deposited, they get away with it. And the banks will pay big money to keep them out of jail. So it's the unfairness and the injustice of what has been done to me. And many others who have worked in the contact centers, in the banks. It's the unfairness of it. Because, their lives are fine. They're all going to carry on working at their TD Bank or their BMO or wherever, providing for their families in Nigeria and in the US and in Canada. And what about me? When are things going to get better for me? And when do I get that executive assistant job? Or when do I get that job that pays me well? Because people like me, especially people who have come from Southern Africa and Zimbabwe, we left there because we were honest people, because we were facing persecution, and we came here to make better lives for ourselves. So I anticipate things will get better, but I want them to change now. I'm tired of seeing what's happening and people saying, oh, well, you can't change the past. Well, you knew what was happening, so why didn't you stop it? If I had taken my phone onto the floor in production, I would have been fired instantly. There would have been no mercy shown to me. But these Indian girls can come from India and wherever, sit with their phones in the training, take them onto the training, take them into the floors where the calls are coming in, put the security of the companies at risk. Nothing happens to them. So it's the injustice of it. And today there are cameras all over the place. But somehow that wasn't seen on the camera. Or people have short-term memories. So my prayer and my hope is I get a good paying job, and I anticipate that things will fall into place. And I'm one of those people that if I can't work and if I'm going to be a burden on others and society, I'd rather not. Because I didn't go to study and train and do all these things, upgrade my skills, do everything right to land up with a rotten deal. Because that's exactly what's happening to me in Canada. And that is not what I worked for.